Hello, welcome back to art class. Today what we're going to talk about is different kinds of ground that happen to be in our picture. This is something that you actually know a little bit about. You'll hear the term background all the time. In fact, I use it without even thinking about it sometimes. When I tell you to, like, we're going to draw a sun in the sky or background area, that's the distance in the way back of the picture. It's supposed to be the items that are the furthest away from you if you're looking at the picture. There's actually two other types of ground that we need to worry about. There's something called the middle ground because it's in the middle of the picture usually. It's not quite as far away as the background is, but it's not as close as the front here. So it's called the middle ground, and it's usually in the middle of the picture. Okay, and then there's one other area that you need to know, and it's called the foreground. It's usually the front of the picture, the objects or people that are the closest to you in the picture. They're usually the biggest items that are there. Okay, so like here, you can see that the ground here is close up to us. There is a big cactus right here, right? And that is really close to us as a picture. So that is what we're going to be doing today, is we're going to draw ourselves a picture of a desert scene just like this, so that we get a good idea of foreground, which is the ground up close, the middle ground, which is a little bit further away, and then of course the background, which you guys actually know about already. Okay, so what you're going to need is you're going to need a piece of paper, you need a pencil, and you're going to need an eraser. And to start off with, all we're going to do, real simple, is I like to draw the lines of where those grounds are first. So we're going to draw the foreground first. And what's nice is it's not going to be a perfectly straight line. It's kind of a curve. And I can just about fit my hand inside. Your hand is a little bit smaller than mine, so yours probably actually will fit right inside. Okay. And I do a nice line all the way across here to the side. Okay. This is going to be the foreground. So anything that's supposed to be close to us, right there. Okay. Then I'm going to do a middle ground, something that's a little bit further away. It's got a little bit of a wave to it. I don't want to use a perfectly straight line for that. Okay, so anything that's supposed to be kind of close to us but not right in our face, that's where that's going to be, the middle ground. And then we're going to worry about the background, which is going to be these mountains. Mountains are pretty easy because they're just a big, like a giant letter M. Okay, kind of lopsided. So I'm going to do this M. And I have it go right off the page. So it's kind of like well, I guess it's more of like an N, almost an M. Okay, and then I like to put snow on the top. So I will put this line here so that I know that snow is going to be up here. In the background area, I would like to have our sun, maybe some small birds. These are like lowercase m's. And you can even, if you want, put a cloud in your sky. That's done with a bumpy line that is a bunch of M's together. Okay. Now I want to draw in a few more items for this. This is pretty easy. What I'm going to do is I want to do the little area here, the middle ground, where I have a little kind of cactus off the side. And that's just basically a bump. A bump that's going to go over that line a little bit. And then I'm going to put a rounded bottom on it. And then since you can't see through a cactus, because a cactus is a kind of plant, you're going to erase the little line right there. These are called barrel cactuses, and they actually make copies of themselves like this. They make little pieces, and then they kind of come off that way. Okay. Then I want us to make what's called a saguaro cactus, these really big ones that have the arms. They look like little people. You often see them sometimes wearing hats. They're pretty easy to draw. They're basically a big shape. This is kind of like almost a really long oval. And you got to make sure it ends up down here. The bottom of it is in the foreground. And then it's got a rounded bottom as well. saguaro cactuses, cactuses in general, you can't see through, so I have to erase the little parts that I shouldn't see. Okay, and then we're going to kind of put arms on them, kind of like octopus arms or something like that. They're really kind of funny, but they usually reach up towards the sky. So it's kind of a curved arm here. And they don't have to be at the same level. I did draw them at the same level, but sometimes they'll grow a little bit one higher than the other. Mine's going off the page a little bit. So they don't have to be perfectly even. Then, if you want, what you can do is you can go in and add some other details if you'd like. So maybe, because it's the desert, see if you can recognize this. That's a snake. Okay. So you can add a few other details to your picture. We will do the coloring part of this next week. It's pretty easy, but I want to get it this far, and I want you to remember that in the front, that's the foreground. In the middle is the middle ground, and in the back is going to be the background. Okay. That's key things, and I will see you next week to wrap this up.